baby. And I blame the NDC more, even though most of some MPP functionaries or communicators on the middle level or lower level, the way our workers and gives the pressure though one because of I want to me detach one from the earlier challenges they had with the woman. Let me be honest, a human element. And see, that is there. But I'm yet to hear any high ranking. Yeah, if I'm wrong, I stand to be corrected. High ranking NPP functionary and a minister and a BR. I mean, what can the way my own friend Aruna spoke. My name is Hatibia. Yes. So in terms of leadership responsibility, or if you like, irresponsibility, I think the NDC have been worse off in this matter. The way they
statement was a very responsible statement.
I hear you.
Very, very responsible.
If you had said it was irresponsible, I'd have been surprised.
Very, very responsible and timely.
I think it was a needless intrusion. Had the potential to just create chaos on the issues. I mean, and it didn't make sense to me. Honestly, I think that in a sober moment, you go there, and it is serious error of judgment. It's as simple as that. But beyond that, issues have come forward to the fore. Into those issues, that is allegations and counter allegations, Kwame, must be investigated thoroughly. You need choice. Indeed, you need the luxury of an alternative. It be so destroy the EC's credibility beyond repair and recovery. And that's about the end of the entity. Well, it has undermined its corporate integrity as well as some of the individuals' integrity. But I don't think that a fatal injury. Kwame, on your irredeemable. Indeed, I mean, if you're healing through negative experience that we are going to go through. It's an opportunity for us to look at the EC carefully, and I'm going to read some material to you. But before then, Kwame, meaning if what I'm doing is even right, but I think I'll do it if you allow me. So if you're not right, you can stop me.
Let me hear you.
Okay. Allegations now are out. The crony there, if you must signing STL contract with STL, 2 contracts with Nedama. Our allegation, petition now what the command president you could. Or other Madame Charlotte say, or by no, there were 2 contracts that had already been signed, and then ONU unilaterally decided to abrogate those contracts. Now, all abrogated contract, or we awarding it to STL at $21-something million. That's the allegation. No, or responding to that. And in response, obviously, there's a counter allegation. The counter allegation is there. Those 2 contracts were signed in violation of the Public Order, Public Procurement Act. Indeed, those who made the original allegation also accused him that unilateral abrogation was a violation of the same law. Or a verifiable, I mean, view such an allegation, which is a serious allegation, and or Kwame did my investigators based on records, they'll check. I don't see why anybody should be worried. But Kwame, first of all, Madam Charlotte says yes, even there, or admit there, or cancel agreement. Or cancel it because of fear that it was not in tune with the Procurement Act. Oh, or true to STL there, Mumbra and review situation. And that the STL didn't complain. And that at the end of the day, the value was $7.2 million. So the $21.9 million now petitioners in work. First of all, is out of the window. 2, what about 7.2? But much there, the counter response they oh no, BPI and it was in order. There was a tender committee, every broad transit was approved by your minister in Nanyama. It's in the catch of them, baby, the minister Lawa. Yes, I mean, it's in the message. These are records that are available and will be available to the investigators. We read the email from one Joseph Asamoah. Apparently, he was the director of finance.
Okay, more if you want.
If you are there or interdiction. And subject, Supertech contract, date July 24th, 2015. Time,
2 years ago.
Yeah, time 724. Recipient Charlotte Osei. Nati Kwame. Dear Madam, I would first and foremost, and all these documents are with Yoko. As we speak, or Yoko. In her response, she attached these things. Also, I would first and foremost commend you for the legitimate demand of documentations regarding the Commission's contract with Supertech Limited. Unquestionably, these documents must have formed the basis for awarding the offered mentioned contract. Madam, in the circumstance, I see myself helpless to provide responses either oral or documentary to the request. However, in the case of method of procurement, the Commission purported to use single-source procurement method. The procedural and legal omission, however, is that the tender committee did not meet to take the sole sourcing decision. Again, approval was also not sought from the Public Procurement Authority before the contract was signed. This means that, as far as this contract is concerned, no documentation exists for minutes of the entity tender committee in relation to the agreements. Again, there is no budget line in the 2015 budget for both contracts. However, provision has been made for them in the 2016 contract. With the greatest of respect, Madam, in respect to authorization by the Commission in approving the contract, I am incapable of providing information to this effect because I'm not privy to the Commission meetings minutes. Furthermore, as far as this contract is concerned, I do not know the unit cost of each item. When we need the items, delivery timelines, and penalties for non-performance. Madam, from my standpoint, I believe the above will suffice an explanation to your concerns.
So it was unilaterally given up?
This is somebody who, by the organizational structure,
should know,
ought to be part of even the tender process. Okay? I was head of the finance department. This is a response to Nipa Nawaba office for watch the date, July 24th. Charlotte assumed office June 30th. And she began to see these issues and began to ask questions and ask for the records to support what had been done before on Oazum office. See, another one. The same letter, the big shots, the top shots. This one is from Suli Amadou. I said, Chair, thanks for the email and sorry for the delay in replying. I think you should be finished with all the documents which are to be on file. Anyway, I do not know of all these procedures with regard to signing contracts, sole sourcing to PPA. But I'm aware that the last contract that I signed as a witness is for the maintenance only and not for procurement. I stand to be corrected, however. Once again, I think you should be finished with all these documents as soon as possible. If possible, get STL to do that. Thanks.
Right, they don't have documents.
This is what Charlotte was going through.
They weren't cooperating with her.
Say, me what time, I will read more.
Now, how can the Commission have a contract with STL and they don't have documents and ask? Have the owner could be STL.
That's what happened.
When you are ahead of operation?
Yes. And in any case, STL, they were written to, STL complied, came and sat down and they reviewed the contracts.
From 21 to 7.
These are facts and well documented. Mewamowa, the illegal transfer of votes. I mean, there were correspondence on it here. There were correspondence from there on that matter here. You see, the people who did that do not know that this correspondence are available. What will proceed with a transfer of votes away will follow through. I'm sure that Sampan will know that better. And Sami too. Meanwhile, correspondence are making it away between those who were doing the transfers and the people that were doing the transfers for. did not go according to the procedures, and it was a private thing that was being done.
Private.
In the sense that you are not using the official channels to do that.
It was illegal.
Why shouldn't it be illegal? And there's correspondence between those effecting the transfer. For some people, when you cry a WhatsApp correspondence, if you see an email, what that brown, oh, can you do this for me? Can you do this for that one? And this no what pictures na one yama brown ne why without using the official channel. Yes, ask me how. And this is it. This is the package I'm holding. Oh yeah, WhatsApp correspondence, or your email correspondence from those who were doing it.
Officials of the EC.
Of course. Without officials of EC, you can't do that. You can't. But when the procedures to follow, guidelines, rules of engagement to follow. And indeed, some of these things, some of the parties found some and complained. Okay, no. In terms of election management, the credibility of elections, I think overall, since 1992, of course, 92 election, especially the presidential, was a non-election as far as I'm concerned. And NPP, supported by the other opposition parties, were stolen verdict. Being on record, 96 elections, we can't there was an improvement. Even though President Ford press conference conceding defeat and pointing to some irregularities, but Mr. Ford decided there are irregularities now to the extent of affecting the overall verdict, and I agreed with him. So I say there was not a problematic election. 2000, I think, went very well, even though NDC also had some challenges. 2004, they had more challenges. 2008, there were few problems. But I think generally, even in the election management, we can give credit to the EC over the years. They've done very well, and this is acknowledged by international community. But the EC systems, have been problematic. Okay? And the back there, President, before the time, there was an attempt to set up a procurement committee of a certain, some composition, to deal with procurement. My NDC full protesting seriously. That protest was a bit of an excessive reaction. But at the end of the day, composition in an issue. The rationale for government doing that there, there are difficulties with procurement and accountability of what the way fantasy were politicized. Every based on recommendations in terms of so they went ahead. But before then, the entire Kufu administration and there, the Danida, now one easy, a lot of support. They presented a report. It's dated 30th April 2001. Now, in this report, Danida or consultants were conducted some forensic investigation of assault, and they recommended there the EC system were inherent weaknesses. As one they will face serious accountability challenges.
That was 2001.
2001. Procurement, financial accounts, and all that is here. They were reporting. To my surprise, this is 2001. I mean, I've just seen another report. This time, it is dated 16th August 2015.
2 years ago.
And this time is titled Conduct of an Institutional Assessment and the Development of a Strategic Plan for the Electoral Commission of Ghana by UNDP. I'm the two researchers in our year, Islam, Sufi, and Theophilus Gowiti. I'm not sure I pronounce the names well. But Kwame, and this is the environment within which the EC is operating. This one may become institutional, on personalities, on the human element, even though based on the institutional framework, these human problems will occur and reoccur.
Okay, finish that.
Well, then, Mami, read them out. Or you're very critical. Because, see, bottom line, we investigations and a verification now through criminal prosecution, whatever it is, it wouldn't solve the institutional matters. It's in a epidemic conclude with this. But don't worry, I'm very pleased. This one is paragraph 33, is under procurement. Also, the public procurement regime at the EC remains weak. Begin to think from 2001. If I had read the 2001 report, it would the relevance. Remains weak. Some reports and anecdotal evidence suggest continued widespread abuse in the award of contracts. The framework for addressing irregularities in the procurement processes has significant gaps. In the meantime, Ghanaian democracy continues on its path of increasing clientelization. Political patronage pervades the culture and practice of public sector governance. Primarily, the Shroud and Police Intelligence and Professional Standards Bureau conduct anti-corruption enforcement efforts which face major challenges. There is practice within the EC.
Yes, what?
Practice within
the
EC to design an annual procurement plan. However, no publicity is provided for the annual procurement plans and for the contract notices. Information about EC procurement is scarce. Normally, it should be published widely, including on the EC's website, which remains poor in content by all standards. The public procurement system within the EC is heavily criticized as one of the reasons for the worsening of the public trust in the EC. Values with regards to transparent procurement in the field of elections are still missing. And the EC suffers from a bad reputation in terms of financial transparency with public procurement. Given the huge volume of transactions and the number of persons involved in the work of the EC, public procurement procedures and management of the contracts is of importance to the integrity of the EC. The EC's public procurement procedure is the activity that is most vulnerable.
Public procurement procedure.
Yes, is the most vulnerable to mismanagement in the EC. Currently, arrangements for public procurement are deficient, and as such, they have diminished public confidence to the EC and have undermined the public image of the EC. The public procurement practices within the EC is a serious problem. The institutional framework and measures remain ill-suited to effectively addressing the phenomenon. Particularly, the EC's contract with the company that manages voter registration and verification is of contentious nature. The use of derogation for single-source procurement must be limited to clearly defined and exceptional cases. For too much time. This is just a drop in the ocean. The next one is internal and external audits. It's a disaster there. Disaster all over. And Afrajan or commission them exercising. It began under Afrajan. It only got completed under Charlotte. August 18, 2015. She had been in office, and she had been in office only 2 months. But this is the picture of the EC in terms of its systems and internal institutions.
So it means that people abuse the system
for almost 2 decades. They hold fine elections, credible elections, and we all praise them and go to bed. We have forgotten accountability. And Akufo, Ibakaya, there was an attempt by the Auditor General to audit a certain funding via Oba from the African Election BBB. There was chaos that was politicized. The EC by law, accounts have to be audited by the Auditor General.
But why?
That is a good question. They decide, my boys need it. They won't call audit service. No one could check whether they were performing that exercise or not. Now, we with the monies paid to personal accounts.
I'm surprised Mustafa hasn't commented. You say,
Oh, there's more than I need the main topic.
I mean,
I want you to
No, ENT.
the church system.
All you're wrong is
When you look at the things that I've written here, it's almost
same thing
the
now.
same issues.
Oh, I see.
And the church may sister Minister of Defense.
In China, American is
Oh, you're Professor Agrimu. Professor, oh, you magic.
yeah.
Yeah.
Managing the private accounts.
Yes.
That we wrap up on that.
This is the internal audit report of the EC itself,
Internal audit report.
of the EC. Political parties primaries. We focus on political parties primaries.
Yeah.
2015. What happened between one or all the parties, NDC, MPP, but more of significance, ma auditors in work, and
What's the name?
about also bank accounts. Key audit findings. 1. Bank accounts. The audit team identified during the audit that the commission did not have any designated bank accounts with designated signatories for cash or check lodgement upon receipt of monies from the political parties for election primaries.
They did not.
Systemic, institutional, and it had been there. It had been, thank you, and it had been so for a very, very long time. The monies are received by officials of the elections department in physical cash, and then subsequently disbursed in physical cash to the various regions. Furthermore, our checks revealed when monies are disbursed to the regions. Let me tell you. Also, furthermore, our checks revealed that when monies are disbursed to the regions, they are surprisingly paid into the personal bank accounts of the regional directors for onward expenditure on election activities. The audit team also learned that no returns are filed back by the regional directors to account for their expenditure on election activities. This practice is a clear violation of the principles of sound financial management and can encourage misappropriation of funds. Recommendation. Recommendation. It is strongly recommended that the Commission should consider having designated bank accounts with designated signatories to cater for such cash/check receipts from political parties, meaning some of the parties paying checks. Yeah. The various regions should also have similar structures in place to strengthen the Commission's control mechanism and to guard against fraudulent practices. Now, auditors gave their responses, and this is based on the auditors' responses. In terms of read them all. Regional directors in one kasa who admitted that yes, Canada, or today, parties did nothing wrong. In the election primaries, Aban in Piahe, meaning Aban ma use money for that. For example, who know better. It's and political party regulation show the free use one more conduct amount. It's the parties, I think, if you are a consensus there, look, fund, but I will never manage it here. This kind of brow. So the parties do nothing wrong, sending the monies to the ECHQ through the election department, who comes under the deputy director operations. They did nothing wrong. It's on here the Matide Bimokado or Tidama was a national lotteries, it's not the same equation we are discussing here. Now the headquarters must transfer the monies to the regions where we are war primaries. It's what they up there is clear what they call personal account. The auditors themselves have admitted this here. And then they have to disburse. We saw one for any proper accounts and back.
So how do we even know the way this is?
Yes, and any man will disburse it. So these are facts. And this is a practice that predated the assumption of office of Charlotte. I mean, who is going to be able to defend such a thing? For me, anyone know substantive issues in all these allegations and counter allegations, the contracts, procurement violations, there be some respect. I mean, respect to. Oh, yeah, we are not on talking terms. Even those are not impeachable offenses anyway. They are just waste of space and time.
Not necessarily.
Oh, fine. If you want to make an impeachable, you want to.
Now you're talking in the context of impeachment.
Yes, that's what I mean. If they trigger impeachment, why bring in all those things? No, put them aside and go for the substance and use the substance to trigger the impeachment proceedings. I rest my case.
Resting it now with a time at about 19 minutes past 4.3. Considering Baaku's revelation, wouldn't it be dangerous for the three people to supervise future elections in this country?
Not
I
necessarily.
wish they all voluntarily resign to preserve the respectability of our EC.
People don't understand. It's not
And then moving on beyond that one, Frederick Kumar in Waseka Upon says, Baaku has done a good PR job for his cousin Charlotte saying, I find it problematic when Kwaku sees nothing wrong with Mr. Osei's conduct and seems to be making a case against the other commissioners. A full investigation must be conducted and anybody culpable should be impeached.
So
he's come to the same conclusion. I mean, we agree on the bottom line.
The bottom line.
But we need right, because I'm a cousin and I'm a sister. Not your don't know objective. The same thing. What's a long-standing friendship with Nana Akufo-Addo disables me from not defending him. That's what I'm told, and that's why Mr. Ampofo is a Minister of Defense. You see, it's so funny, isn't it?
Never know, let me say, directly opposite what happens.
Yes.
Because then until I don't know, we are TRANSGENERAL in defense.
This one says all journalists were charged 10 cedis for accreditation to cover the elections. Can we know where those monies are? Because the EC brought a budget of $100 million. Hi, my beloved Ghana.
Parliament has called
Don Pano from Mala.
Parliament after EC.
When you're GDA member, I need 20 cities.
But Parliament has invited the EC to come and answer. It's accountability.
This one says, I can confirm the Auditor General has been auditing the accounts of the EC. In one of his 2012 reports, the EC overspent his budget by almost 1,000%.
Interesting.
Gordon, Asaribediaku. Please ask about for me. When Madam Charlotte Osei decided to abrogate the said contract, did she do so in concert with the board? The question is asking. That would be interesting.
Easy or border.
Yeah, I know you want. They should have a board. If they don't, it will be strange.
It's a commission. We don't have board.
They don't have board.
I see.
They have commission and subcommittees of the commission responsible for various aspects of the operations.
Now here's another interesting question. Remember, quick 1 minute. Okay. Also, the question is, if the petitioners had not petitioned against Charlotte Osei, would she have reviewed all these things she's doing today? Kwame in Kumasi.
What did she review? What did she review?
In terms of what
she responded to a request from the youth. And in response to the show there, all this time, she had been making moves to try and cure the mischief. You may not be reading what did they mean? Yeah. She was asking questions. So she was not sleeping on her job.
I'll say it's a 7-member commission. Kabila, thank you.
Yeah, it is.
How are we going to allow these commissioners to remain at post? Their conduct alone is enough to drag them out of the very office they currently occupy. Because a kindergarten kid cannot trust them to hold a free and fair election in this country. But it is Parliament. But is Parliament even credible to invite EC to deal with their issues? We're caught between the devil and the boiling blue sea. I assemble Pram Fisherman.
But face the privileges committee.
But let me read a short letter because of this question of board. But Mr. Ampofu branch there with the board. I mean, let me advert him in mind too. But see, in cancelling the contract, this is the letter Charlotte wrote. It's dated 14th August 2015 to the managing director, Supertech Limited. Also, we write in connection with the above reference contract signed between your company and the Electoral Commission dated May 6, 2015. Following an internal review of the processes leading to the execution of the contracts, we regret to inform you that both contracts do not meet the requirements of the Public Procurement Act 2003, Act 663, and the procurement policies of the Electoral Commission. Consequently, the Commission has decided to abrogate both contracts effective immediately and recommence the process for the award of both contracts. We would advise you when the Commission commences the procurement processes for the affected goods and services. We trust that you understand the position of the Commission and count on your usual support. Please be assured of our highest regards and consideration. Signed, Charlotte Osei. Copied, 1. To Director, Deputy Chair, Operations, Electoral Commission. Deputy Chair, Finance and Administration, Electoral Commission. Then Director of Finance. And then I have the minutes here. They were the minutes of the tender committee. All the minutes here. The people who were present, the members of the tender committee. And then their recommendation, which then led to this letter being written.
Interceptor in chief.
Thank you.
So all of this thing.
This one I accept.
In the last 20-something years, this is what has been happening.
That is what has been happening.
Honest
It has
James
become
Comey.
almost a culture, Kwame. It has become a culture.
Kabila sends a long one, but I'll read because he hardly does. Tell Bombay we are required to discuss these issues carefully. Contrary to his argument that the issues at hand don't constitute a fatal injury agreeably, I hold that the manner in which we discuss them have a tendency to discredit the reputation, trust and public confidence of the EC. No matter who we meet or facts we intercept, we may not be fully clothed with all the facts. We must appreciate that no one can be entirely right and no one may be entirely wrong. Where is the best middle ground for the sake of the sanctity of the EC and our nascent democracy? So far, what we have succeeded at is the attainment of the minimal level of successful changeover from one party to another after elections in our democracy. We are still crawling at issues of accountability, transparency and responsive governance. Let's not make too much of any one side. We live a deception in this country most of the time.